Is the LG Stylo 6 worth buying? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and welcome to my LG Stylo 6 review. Now, the LG Stylo 6 has been very highly anticipated, especially among my audience here on YouTube, and the phone is the successor to the LG Stylo 5, which was launched roughly 1 year ago. Now, at the time of me recording this video, the phone is being offered by Boost Mobile. I know it's also going to be making its way over to Metro by T-Mobile, as well as Cricket, and I'm sure it'll make its way over to even more carriers. In addition to that, you'll also probably be able to find the phone factory unlocked online sometime in the future. So definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the various places where you can buy it and also to see the most up-to-date pricing for the phone. Now, at least at the moment, the phone has a retail price of $219. Boost was offering it for $179 on sale, and that's the price that I got it at. But like I said, prices will change all the time. Carriers will offer different promotions, so definitely check out the link to see what things are currently at. Now, the LG Stylo 6 features a massive display at 6.8 inches. The display is IPS LCD. We're getting a 1080p resolution. We're getting a PPI of 395. We're getting a 20.5:9 aspect ratio, so a very narrow but tall form factor. And we're getting an 82.5% screen to body ratio. So I really like that LG has given us a very large display here with the phone. I also appreciate that 20.5:9 aspect ratio because you'll be able to fit more of your social media feed into a single frame here. But most importantly, they've managed to make this display bigger, but at the same time, it's still very easy to hold in the hand. It's also still very pocketable too. The only downside with the display of this phone is that it's a little bit on the dim side. It's not the brightest display that I've ever seen, that's for sure, especially compared to other devices like the Samsung Galaxy A51 and A11, and even the LG Stylo 5 has a brighter display. And I actually have the phone up to 100% brightness right now, and you can see things don't look extremely bright. Now, is that a deal breaker? I don't think so. I really don't think it's a deal breaker, but just know what you're getting into. And especially if you spend a lot of time indoors, it will not be a problem. And even outdoors, you can still use the phone. It's just not the brightest ever. Now up top here, we have a water drop notch, and in that notch is a 13 megapixel front-facing camera. Now stay tuned to later in the video as I show you photo and video samples from the phone. Now the device features 64 gigabytes of internal storage with microSD card expansion. Now, I'm really happy that we do get that much internal storage. That's quite a bit. And what's funny is that the iPhone 11, which is $699, also gives us 64 gigs of storage. So you're getting the same amount of internal storage here with the LG Stylo 6 that people paying 3 times the amount of money get with the iPhone 11. So that does show you that LG is giving you a decent amount of value when it comes to the amount of storage that you are getting. Now, there's no wireless charging with the phone, but there is a fingerprint sensor on the back. So let's try that out. So that's decently fast, definitely gets the job done. Now there is no face unlock, unfortunately, with the LG Stylo 6. That feature has been removed because we did have that in last year's Stylo. So if you do enjoy face unlock, just know that you're not getting it here with the phone. Now on the back of the device, we have a triple camera setup. So we have a 13 megapixel main camera, we have a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and we have a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. So definitely stay tuned for later in the video as I show you the results from those cameras. But in general, I am glad that we do have an ultra-wide camera with the phone. That's certainly a nice feature to have, and it is cool too that we get portrait mode with both the rear and front cameras on the device. Now internally, we're getting 3 gigabytes of RAM and the MediaTek Helio P35 processor. Now I do wish that LG had given us 4 gigs of RAM. I think 4 would have been a lot better than 3. Of course, you're getting more RAM, so how could that be bad? And the MediaTek Helio P35 is decent, not the best processor ever, but also it's not completely garbage either. Now I did run a benchmark test with the phone, and I got an overall score of, and you'll see it here in a second, 105,537. So kind of a lower end score there, but I do feel like this phone is priced accordingly based on this type of benchmark score. If you're an average person who does a moderate amount of social media, but you do a lot of phone calls and text messages, and maybe you also enjoy watching movies, then this phone will definitely get the job done. But if you're doing more advanced tasks like video editing or high-end gaming, then I suppose you might run into some slowdowns with the phone. but in general, I think you will be satisfied with the performance. Now, video recording with the device maxes out at 1080p. We're getting a beefy 4000 milliamp hour internal battery with the phone. And as far as the software goes, we're getting Android 10 with LG's skin laid over the top. And I did install quite a few of my own apps to test out as I use this phone. And I've had no issues with any of these apps. I did, however, have to make some adjustments to the software, which you can access through the settings. I will explain all of this in my tips and tricks video that I will be uploading tomorrow. But through the settings, you can add different features like an app drawer, which is a must-have for me, especially when using an Android phone. And if you want to, you can switch from gesture-based navigation to the standard Android navigation buttons. So like I said, that tips and tricks video explains how to do all those different things. So definitely take a look at that to learn even more about how to use this phone. Now we do get NFC with the LG Stylo 6, which is awesome. Definitely a big fan of NFC, and I'm glad that we do have it here with the phone, especially compared to other devices like the Moto G Stylus, where we don't get NFC. I'm really happy that we do have that feature with the LG Stylo 6. Now taking a closer look at the hardware here, the display itself does look nice and clear. We do have good colors. Like I said, it's not the brightest display ever, but overall, the actual sharpness of it is good. So the phone will be decent for watching video content, that's for sure, and things will look nice on the phone's very large 6.8-inch display. Now I do wish that we had a hole punch instead of a water drop notch at the top. I'm not sure why LG is still giving us water drop notches, especially when we're now in 2020, but I can certainly live with it. And at the bottom of the phone, we do have a thicker bottom bezel as well. But in general, I think the design is good. I don't think it's a bad design. Sure, there are a lot of ways that it could be even better, but it does get the job done. Now, running around the sides of the phone is this metallic strip here, and that looks really fancy, kind of mimics the look of stainless steel. But on the left side with volume buttons, we also have the Google Assistant button, which in my opinion is pretty close to useless. I never use it personally, and unfortunately you cannot remap it to do other things. We also have the slot for the microSD card and SIM card, so that's nice to have. And then on the right side of the phone, we have the power button. Then on the top, we have the noise canceling microphone, and then on the bottom, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. We have the microphone, we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer, we have the speaker, and we have the stylus. Now with the LG Stylo 6, LG has made quite a few improvements to the stylus with how it functions. The biggest difference is that instead of having to pull out the stylus, we now have this pop in, pop out way of removing it and putting it back in. So that's really cool. It reminds me a lot of the way that the stylus works with the various Galaxy Note phones. But as far as the actual stylus itself goes, it is a pretty basic stylus. It's really just a metal stick with a little felt tip at the end, and that's totally acceptable, especially for a phone in this price range. What I like about the stylus is that you can actually use it to navigate around the phone and do any other tasks that you like to do. So if you're someone who has fingers that are always greasy, then this stylus will definitely be great for you to avoid getting the screen dirty. But another thing too, where I could see this being helpful, is that if you're someone with long fingernails, and maybe you don't have the best abilities to use a touchscreen as it is, then the stylus will also make the usability of the phone much easier. Now LG does give us a variety of different apps here that you can use the stylus for. For example, you can create a new memo, and then you have the ability to write here. And we do get a little bit of latency with the stylus, so certainly it's not as advanced as it is with the Note series of phones from Samsung. But again, this is a much cheaper phone, so I would expect to have inferior technology here. And I feel like in general, it's just a cool thing to have. But on the other hand, having a stylus here is one of those things that you're probably either going to never use it or you're going to use it a lot. So you might want to think about whether or not you actually think you would be using it realistically. But on the other hand, it is a cool bonus feature to have, especially if you're not interested in spending hundreds of dollars extra on a Galaxy Note phone. Then you can save money by going with an LG Stylo 6 and still retain the feature of having a stylus. Now there are plenty of other stylus related applications on the Google Play Store that are probably mainly designed for the various Note series phones, but you could certainly use those apps with this stylus as well. So if you do decide to buy the LG Stylo 6, then I definitely recommend going into the Google Play Store and exploring a bit to see what other stylus apps are available for you. There's probably a lot of different apps that give you way more abilities than the pre-installed features that LG provides. At least when it comes to budget devices, give you NFC. For example, the Moto G Stylus, which is probably the biggest competitor to the LG Stylo 6, does not give you NFC, but we do. So the LG Stylo 6 is an awesome device for watching video content. Like I said, it would have been nice if we did get a brighter display with the phone, but it still does get the job done. And I like how large the display is so that you can just sit back, relax, and consume content. And of course, for different videos, if you do want to crop in, you can get a very immersive experience here. It is a very wide experience, but still very immersive. So that's really cool as well. Now, one of the biggest surprises with this phone is that we are getting stereo speakers. So we have the bottom speaker as one of the speakers, and also the earpiece will emit sound as well. So we get the left channel right here and the right channel right here. So that's excellent for watching video content, for example, as it does feel a lot more immersive, especially compared to other phones where we just get the audio that comes out of the bottom. Now, like I was mentioning before, the LG Stylo 6 is an excellent phone for social media, and one of the reasons for that is because of this display. And you can see, for example, here, I can fit this entire post in just one frame here, despite this photo being very tall. And you can see, scrolling down even further, I can just fit a lot of content into a single frame. So that's awesome. It's really cool how you can see so much here without having to scroll as much. And that is certainly one of the benefits of going this route.
We've been connected.
Stories look really good too. The speakers are nice and loud. So that's great. And then when you want to swipe over and record your own story, you can do that as well. And the front-facing camera with the phone does look really nice. You can do that as well, and the phone does have a decently nice looking, so that's really good. So I've had a very interesting experience taking photos with the LG Stylo 6, and the reason for that is because through the viewfinder, things don't really look that good. But after you take the photo and the phone does the processing, the actual final results look very decent. So I'm very impressed with that from LG, and I definitely think the LG Stylo 6 is a big step up from especially the Stylo 5 when it comes to photo quality. Colors look good, things look nice and crisp, the portrait mode works really well as well, so definitely no complaints when it comes to the camera. Now, as far as nighttime photography or even low light photography go, just know that this is not a good phone for those purposes, so you will be disappointed. But I don't think too many people buy phones in this price range and then go outside in the middle of the night to take pictures. Now, as far as the video quality goes with the phone, and I'll show you some test videos in a second here, I'm a little bit disappointed. I feel like the 1080p video from this device just doesn't look very crisp. It kind of looks like 720p video in a sense, just because the bitrate is very low. So I feel like LG could use a little bit more optimization when it comes to video recording. And definitely compared to some other competitors like the LG Stylus, this phone definitely does struggle when it comes to recording video. But check out the samples for yourself and let me know what you think in the comment section below. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a front-facing test video from the LG Stylo 6. So let me know what you think of the quality from the device. Really curious to know your thoughts about it. Also, let me know what you think of the microphone quality from the phone too. That's definitely an important thing. But I hope you're enjoying the review video, and share all your thoughts in the comment section below. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a 1080p test video with the main rear camera on the LG Stylo 6. So definitely let me know what you think of the quality. We do have nice quick autofocus in video mode, so certainly a good thing. But let me know what you think of the quality. And here is an ultra wide angle video with the LG Stylo 6. So the quality probably won't be quite as good as the main camera, but you do get things a little bit wider here. But let me know what you think. So is the LG Stylo 6 a good phone to buy? Is it worth it, and do I recommend it? Well, really, it all comes down to the price that you can get the phone for. Personally, I wouldn't spend over $200 for this phone. It's definitely not worth it. But if you can get the phone for under 200 bucks, then it is worth it. In the upper $200 range, you can buy a renewed Samsung Galaxy Note 8, and that will give you a way better stylus experience. And if you don't want a stylus, then also in the mid $200 range, you could buy a Samsung Galaxy A51, at least the international variant of the phone, unlocked. So this phone is definitely going to depend on some really solid carrier discounts and deals for it to sell well. And I'm sure that's what's going to happen. That's what happened with the Stylo 5 last year. Most people that bought the LG Stylo 5 bought it through a carrier, where they either got the phone for free for switching in from another carrier, or they got it at half off. Whatever the deal is, I don't know, deals change all the time. My point is that most people that buy this phone will buy it based off of some sort of deal or promotion from their carrier. And we'll see what the unlocked price is as well. Definitely take a look at the link in the description for that. But my point is that you really need to look and see what deals are being offered for this phone before you actually decide to get it. For example, Boost Mobile offered a great deal in this phone, and I was able to scoop it up for $179, and definitely at that price, I think it's a really good value. But I hope you enjoyed this video about the LG Stylo 6. Hopefully you found this review about the phone to be helpful and useful. And if you have any other requests, let me know. But this is Kevin, this is my LG Stylo 6 review, and I will see you in the next video.